Hi guys, I'm back with another video, and this video is going to be all about breastfeeding. So, let's get into it. Breastfeeding is extremely hard, and what makes it even harder is that now there's this expectation in our society that all women must breastfeed, and if you don't breastfeed, you're a bad mother. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not always easy for everybody to breastfeed. So I'm going to give you guys my top tips for breastfeeding to help new moms out and moms that are new to breastfeeding. Tip number 1, start breastfeeding right away. One of my biggest mistakes was not doing this when I was in the hospital and had just given birth to my son. The nurses tried to encourage me and tried to help me as much as they could to breastfeed and to help my son get the colostrum, but he was just not latching on. And out of fear that he was hungry or he was going to starve, I gave him a bottle. And that was probably the biggest mistake that I made, because from that point on, for about 2 weeks, he would not latch on. He would only drink from a bottle. And I wanted so badly to breastfeed that I had to pump every single day just to get him breast milk, because I knew it was beneficial for him to have breast milk. So, if you want to breastfeed, I recommend right away when you have your baby, do that skin to skin. Start bonding with them, and if they don't latch on right away, that is okay. I had to learn that newborn babies, their stomach is about the size of a cherry. So they're not going to starve if they're not getting much out or they're not latching on at all. So don't be afraid to stick with it and persist until they actually start to latch on. My second tip is to help your baby latch on. And what I mean by that is, if your baby is having trouble latching onto the breast, what you can do is grab that area of your breast, the areola, and make a sandwich out of it and help them put it into their mouth until they latch on. This really helped my son to latch on, and now he can do it all by himself. Once they get used to latching on and their mouth gets a little bit stronger, they'll be able to latch on all by themselves, but initially they will probably need some help. Tip number 3, nurse in a position that is comfortable for both you and your baby. For me, I like nursing in my son's room, in my glider, my rocking chair. It's very relaxing for both of us, which breastfeeding is automatically relaxing for both mother and baby, but just being in a chair with good back support and having a chair that can provide that rocking motion, especially when we're both tired, is very, very helpful. And another position that I like to nurse in is laying down. That's how I got my son to latch on initially. I had trouble getting him to latch on for about 2 weeks. Every time I put him on the breast, he would reject it. He would push off of it. That's because he had gotten used to the bottle, and it was the only thing he had known. So what I did was I did a lot of skin to skin with him, and I would lay down with him, and when he's tired and when he's hungry, that was the best position for him to be in, because the breast was right there for him and readily available. It was comforting for both of us. So find the position that's best for you. There's all types of positions that you can breastfeed in. There's a football hold. They recommend that when your baby's a newborn. Side lying position. Research the positions and find the one that works best for you and your baby, and you will be good to go. Tip number 4, use a boppy pillow. I cannot tell you or stress enough how amazing the boppy pillow is, because sometimes you will be hungry and you will want to eat while your baby is also hungry and they want to nurse. So what I do is I sit on the couch or wherever with my boppy pillow, put it around my belly, and I bring my son onto the pillow, and it frees me up because they can just lay on the pillow and nurse. It frees you up to do other things while your little one is nursing. So that pillow is amazing. If you are having a baby, if you're pregnant, please put that on your registry. Please put it on your list of things that you want for you and baby, because it makes things so much easier. Tip number 5, pay attention to hunger cues. And something that my son does a lot is, if he's hungry, he will start to eat his hands. Like, he will start to suck on his fingers and his hands, and you'll just hear, and that lets me know that he is ready to eat. Okay, so pay attention to things like that. Whether it's you don't want it to get to the point where they're crying because they're hungry. There will be other cues before then, like sucking on their hands, if they're rooting, turning their head to the side as if they want to breastfeed. Those are all hunger cues. So pay attention to those and make sure that when you see those, you start to feed your baby right away. Tip number 6, let your baby unlatch by themselves. Most of the time, especially when they start to get a little bit older, they know when their stomach is full, so they will unlatch themselves. And as a mom, it's hard to tell how much milk they're actually getting out because you can't really measure it. But what you can do is let them nurse as long as they possibly can. When they unlatch, that means they're full. And another way that you can tell that they're full is if they fall asleep while they're nursing. That tells you that they have gotten enough to eat and they are calm and they're relaxed. Tip number 7, wear clothes that can come down easily, especially when you're traveling and you're going outside of the house. Another tip is to always bring a blanket with you. That way you don't need all these expensive, elaborate covers to nurse. All you need is a blanket. You could cover your shoulder, your breast, and your baby all at the same time with one of their blankets, and that will give you and him the privacy that you need while you're in public to nurse. And I've actually been nursing in public, but only in the back seat of my car. And you know, I do see people looking and things like that, but it's nothing perverted. They just looking, I guess, out of curiosity and sometimes out of shock, because people are still not used to mothers nursing in public, which is sad, but you have to realize that. And so if you're going to be nursing in public, which you should, because your baby's needs always come first. It doesn't matter who thinks what, as long as you and your baby are fed, that's all that matters. As long as you and your baby are taken care of, that is all that matters. So bring stuff with you that makes nursing easily accessible for your baby. And finally, tip number 8 is to be patient. Sometimes it takes babies a long time to latch on. Sometimes it takes a little while. But if you continue with it and it's something that you really want for your baby, do it. There are so many benefits to breastfeeding that you should absolutely endure the hard times that you might have to go through with your baby to get them to latch on. It is absolutely worth it for both you and your baby. There's so many benefits. And ladies, if you can't breastfeed for some reason, if you're not able to produce milk, if you're not producing enough, if you just don't want to breastfeed, do not feel bad. It's okay. You know, breastfeeding is not for everybody, and I'll be the first to admit that it is not easy. But you know what? As long as your baby is healthy and happy, that's all that matters. All right, ladies, thank you for tuning in. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to leave your tips on breastfeeding, leave a comment below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.